You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
And a good Sunday fun day morning, everyone. Great to have you with us. Glad you arrived at California's #1 place to talk about food, beverage, travel trends, tourism. It's our goal to give you the tools you need to enjoy life's pleasures in a healthy, sustainable, and community-focused manner, we hope. Straight ahead on this hour of the program, we're taking a look at the food poisoning risks surrounding common cuts of meat, following a report this past week, by the Center for Science in the Public Interest. You know, Patty Pyburn, those are the people that have told us about movie, popcorn, Chinese food, Mexican food.
Yes.
Anytime there's something that you just absolutely love, they
ruin it.
All right. But what they do is they actually present the truth, and then in reality, we're thinking, gosh, why didn't I know this the whole time I've been eating this?
Yes,
and sometimes you do, when you're putting
as long as you're making an informed choice.
That's their whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're looking at food poisoning and cuts of meat, and it's a really interesting study. And this woman's got some great information when it comes to ordering steaks at restaurants. I highly recommend you tune in for that. Also, we are talking with Washington Post travel writer Andrea Sachs, one of our favorites. She's back from, I think she was in Southeast Asia.
Oh, I'm so sorry. She has a tough job, doesn't she?
She was in just a couple months back. She was
She's all over the place.
No, last summer she was with polar bears, and
yeah
she's constantly all over the place. Anyway,
poor thing.
I know. But what she does for us is she gives us, the Washington Post has in this morning's post, there's something called What's the Deal? It's a travel column that's the best of the best bargains right now, and she gives those to us, so you don't even have to go out and get the paper. And not that the Post is available probably in your local paper.
Maybe you could get her online, but you get it early and now this way.
Exactly, and she goes into a little more detail.
Mm-hmm.
This week she'll be including hotels, cruising, and a couple of different flight deals that I might have to take advantage of. And then next hour, we're hitting the California coastline with NOAA. Not his ARC. We're talking about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration regarding the confirmation of some of that 2011 tsunami debris washing ashore.
Getting to the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, here in the Golden State, it's the first to wash ashore
here
in
for California.
Exactly.
Have they had some yet in Oregon, or do we know?
I think they might have had some like in Alaska and maybe Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. But we'll find out. That is
yes,
for sure.
we will.
And also what to look for, because there's a big glob of it off the coast
that they've been keeping an eye on, right?
And it's like this big patch that keeps moving this direction, and so she'll tell us what to look for, where it's most likely to appear, how much is on the way, and are there any dangers? I mean, let's remember there were some of that stuff was, and there was all the radioactivity
because of the disaster at the Fukushima plant.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes coastal cleanup efforts take on a whole new meaning.
Yeah, in fact, I'm guessing when we have the big coastal cleanup day, which I think is September, is that right?
I think that does sound right, yeah.
When we have the big California coastal cleanup day, you're right. I think there will be a whole different focus this time around. And then finally, we round out the entire show inviting your health and fitness questions. Personal trainer Julian Varela joins us. He is hired by companies to get their employees in top shape. You know, when your employees are in good shape, you have better attendance. Your workforce tends to get more stuff done, all that sort of thing. So it's worth it to the...
Healthcare costs go down.
Exactly. So it is worth it to the employer to pay Julian to come in and get his staff in eating right and doing the right activities and that sort of thing. Julian is a wealth of knowledge, and he's here for you today. So something we don't do very often, but we should do more often, is take your calls on this. And so we will be during the 9:30 half hour. If you have health and fitness questions to get into top shape, we've got someone right here for you, and we'll be
Very
giving out
nice.
the number throughout the show. I'll give it out right now just so you can write it down if you're planning to do it. Area code 805, so 805 is the number, 545-0332. So 805-545-0332 is the number for your calls during the 9:30 half hour. Patty.
September 15th. That is California Coastal Cleanup Day.
Yeah, so
for anyone who's wondering.
So I guessed, and
You were
I got
right.
it, I got it relatively right. Okay, but right now, Patty, it is time
It is
for
time.
the little thing we like to call the news. And Patty's doing her. There we go.
Why is that so difficult?
You know what it takes? It takes one click.
Am I double-clicking?
If you
Is that the
double-click it,
problem?
it opens iTunes. And
Yes, it does, as I'm looking at iTunes right now. Okay, but besides that.
Yes, besides that, Patty, what do we have in the news?
The latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk on this Sunday morning. The annual Big Sur International Marathon, which we mentioned a few moments ago, is underway as we speak, closing down a long stretch of Highway 1 between Big Sur and the Carmel Highlands. One of the most scenic stretches of roadway just about anywhere in the world. I concur with that. It is absolutely beautiful.
So beautiful.
Well, this race this year, security, of course, very heightened as a result of the Boston Marathon bombings 2 weeks ago. A moment of silence is being held just prior to the start of each race in honor of those who were hurt or killed. Roughly 10,000 participants are registered for this morning's event, 400 of whom were also running in Boston. It's known as the Boston to Big Sur Challenge, or B2B for those in the know.
Yeah, and they get special jackets and medallions and stuff like that.
And that aspect of this race is a whole new meaning this time around.
Right.
And at any year, it's a difficult feat for most runners because of that quick turnaround between the two events. So for those in the marathon world, that's a big thing.
Sometimes it's as short as a week, and then like this time around, it was 13 days. Yeah,
a little longer. But what that race is amazing. What just a beautiful part of the country.
I got a note from the organizer this morning saying the road Highway 1 should reopen between 1 and 1:30 if you need to take
for
that
travelers.
stretch. Yeah, so.
Okay, good to know. Well, the makers of Sam Adams Boston Lager are planning to launch a tribute beer in support of this year's marathon bombing victims. Trademark papers were filed this past week for the rights to Boston Strong 26.2 brew. The company says it will donate all 2013 sales of the brand to a charity supporting the victims of their families. Now, according to the Boston Globe, Boston Beer Company is also pledging to donate 100% of next year's profits from the brand to marathon-related charities. Now, if the trademark is approved, the company says it will allow others in the beverage industry to use the Boston Strong phrase as long as they donate all the profits from that to charities related to the bombings.
Because they have secured the trademark. They're working to secure the trademark just for
not as a profit making.
brewing. Well, just for beverages rather.
Right.
So you can use Boston Strong in some other form, but if you're in the beverage industry, they'll let you use their trademark. That's really a big deal.
Right. And I think the whole point is that it's not for profit making.
Right.
It is just as a charity endeavor, which I think is really admirable.
Yeah, hats off.
Well, this is an interesting story. The Del Monte Food Company is testing a genetically modified pineapple, and it has pink flesh.
The rosé.
The rosé. Should we hear more about the rosé after our little break here?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that at 8:30.
Okay.
Because I want to give our next guest as much time as possible. That's right. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. We're back in just a moment talking meat and food poisoning. I'm your host, Randall White. That's Patty Pyburn. Stick around.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to CALUV.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. CALUV.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. And hello. Thank you for joining us today here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I am your host, Randall White, and it is time now for our popular health and fitness segment where we speak with experts on the topics of diet, nutrition, and the variety of other means you have at your disposal for keeping your mind and body in top shape. Today we're looking at a new report highlighting the most dangerous cuts of meat in the arena, I should say, of food poisoning. Less than a week ago, I was hospitalized for a bad case of what is assumed to be food poisoning. So I can personally tell you, if you're in good health and relatively young, contracting a foodborne illness can really knock you down. Joining us on the line right now to explain this recent Risky Meats report is Center for Science in the Public Interest Senior Food Safety Attorney Sarah Klein. Welcome to the program, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on here. The report crossed my news feed the other day, and I thought, we need to chat a little bit about this. What causes the majority of cases? Is it undercooking or cross-contamination, or some third choice?
Yeah, there's a combination of issues at play here. We've got dangerous pathogens like Salmonella and E. coli. These are usually contamination events during slaughter and processing. They're responsible together for about a third of all the illnesses. Then we've got another third of illnesses that are from Clostridium, which is something that occurs after cooking when food is held out for too long at kind of warm ambient temperatures where the bacteria luxuriate.
Right.
And then the other third is from unknown pathogens. We're not sure exactly what's causing it. But so we know that there are problems really far up the chain with slaughter and processing, and we know there are problems in the kitchen with holding food. So unfortunately, we've all got a role to play in making sure that food is safe.
That's right. Well, let's start at the top of this meat pyramid that you have a graphic that you've created for any of the people that are watching our video simulcast online right now at eatdrinkexplore.com. You can see this pyramid. At the top, you have the highest risk meats, and then at the bottom, the lowest risk. Let's start with those highest cuts.
Yeah, our highest risk products, and again, these are not just the foods that are most likely to make you sick. They're the foods that are most likely to make you very sick.
Okay.
So the meat and poultry products that are most likely to lead to hospitalization, not just a nasty case of diarrhea. So at the very top of the pyramid, those foods that are most likely to send you to the hospital from foodborne illness would be ground beef and chicken.
Okay, and the ground beef is because there's contamination on the outside that then gets worked into the meat?
Yes, all types of ground meat, no matter whether it's beef, pork, poultry, they're all higher risk than intact meat products. But ground beef, we've known for years it's risky. There have been improvements, but really just the way that it's made. You have one piece of contaminated meat that gets ground up with a bunch of others, and spreads that contamination throughout. And so that's why ground beef is always so very risky.
So you were saying these highest risk meats will get you very, very ill. So your findings, you didn't just look at the number of outbreaks or cases, you looked at the severity as well.
Exactly. Each of these foods has a bunch of pathogens that are associated with it. So ground beef, for example, we frequently see E. coli, O157H7, or salmonella. These are pathogens that kind of always show up in ground beef outbreaks. Each of those pathogens has what they call, CDC calls a hospitalization rate. What percent of people who get sick from that bacteria are likely to end up in the hospital? So we unpacked all that data, added it all up, and we were able to see how severe is an illness in ground beef likely to be, given that we know what pathogens are most likely to be there.
I just love how the Center for Science and the Public Interest, anytime I see there's a report by you guys, I check it out immediately. For years now, you have caught the media's attention with your reports on movie theater popcorn, Chinese food, whatever it may be. You take foods that people just maybe don't think twice about, and then show them, hey, you might want to think about this risk. With that in mind, why single out meats for this report? Aren't many foodborne illnesses transmitted via produce like leafy greens, the likely source of my recent bout? Also, dairy products?
You're absolutely right. We have spent the last several years with our attention focused on FDA-regulated products. So that is produce items, anything that's non-meat, including dairy and seafood. We did a report in 2009 that ranked the riskiest FDA-regulated products. Now that the Food Safety Modernization Act has passed and is kind of working its way through the regulatory process, we're turning a little bit to look at meat and poultry. We don't want to forget that there's kind of an even split. Half of Americans are getting sick from non-meat items, the other half from meat items. And so we need to keep toggling back and forth between these two groups of foods. The fact that we released a report about meat and poultry risk doesn't absolve the other foods that can make people sick, like leafy greens, cantaloupes, peanut butter. We'll get to them another day, as we have in the past. And as you mentioned, dairy. We are very concerned about the rise in popularity of raw milk products, that is unpasteurized dairy products. and believe that they're extremely dangerous for consumers. So luckily we have enough talented people at CSPI that we're able to focus on all of these different things. Today, meat and poultry happen to be on the chopping block.
All right, great, Sarah. Let's move down the list now. You mentioned the highest risk cuts. Let's go into the high category now. I see a turkey there. What are the other cuts?
Yeah, so in our high-risk category, we've got turkey, steak, and then other types of beef. That's beef that may be chipped beef or stew beef or beef jerky. It wasn't described adequately in the outbreak report. Steak is very interesting to most consumers. When they hear that steak is risky, it's a surprise. You'd think that bacteria would be on the surface of meat and it would get seared off during cooking.
Right.
That's what we like about steak. You can have it kind of medium rare while you cook your burgers, well done to be safe, but you've been enjoying your steak medium rare. Well, unfortunately, the beef industry is employing a widespread practice. It's called mechanical tenderization. They're piercing tough cuts of steak with tiny needles or blades. They're pushing any surface contamination to the inside so that you've taken a piece of steak, but you've made it just as risky as a piece of as a glob of ground beef.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's no labeling of this anywhere. So consumers don't know that the steak that looks like an intact steak needs to be cooked as if it's a piece of ground beef. That's one of the things we're really pushing the industry and the agency to improve, because that's a real danger to consumers.
Wow, I had not thought about that. And people do it at home, too. People pierce it so that the marinade will get in there or whatever might be the case. Once you pierce it, it needs to be cooked all the way through. We don't have much time left. I just want to mention the low-risk category, which includes sausages, it looks like chicken nuggets and ham. While it might be the lowest risk category, it seems like it's by far the least healthy category.
Absolutely. Much to the chagrin of the nutritionists here at CSPI, we go where the science takes us, and separating acute illness, that's what we're looking at here, from long-term health risk, which is what nutrition is focused on.
Right.
We do find, unfortunately, that these highly processed meats tend to be the lowest risk in terms of bacterial contamination.
Makes sense.
Not to say that people should be replacing real food with these highly processed things.
Just
to say, yep.
I got to cut it off there, Sarah. I'm sorry, we're running out of time. Sarah Klein, Senior Food Safety Attorney with Center for Science in the Public Interest. Thanks so much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure.
Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
The traditional light bulb, a groundbreaking invention in 1879. Other groundbreaking ideas from that time, the whalebone corset, the pedal-operated submarine, and the two-story outhouse. We've come a long way since then. It's time our light bulbs did the same. Visit EnergySavers.gov and learn about energy-saving light bulbs. See, these new bulbs are more efficient than the old ones, like a text message is more efficient than a carrier pigeon. They last longer, too, like how we humans last longer now that doctors use antibiotics instead of leeches. And they cut down on our energy costs, because in our own groundbreaking age of aeroplanes and moving pictures, We deserve a light bulb that saves us some cash. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on this Sunday morning. Sunday Fun Day, as we like to call it, 8:33 now the time. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by Patty Pyburn. Good morning, Patty.
Good morning.
And prior to our last segment, you were going down the news, and you had just gotten to a pink pineapple story.
Yeah.
When we got cut off by that hard commercial break. So
Pretty pink pineapple.
Yeah. Give us the lowdown on that, Patty.
Yeah, I find this story really interesting. The Del Monte Food Company is testing a genetically modified pineapple with pink flesh, and it carries the trade name Rosé. Very nice. The company used genes from tangerines to create the unique color trait, along with some other variations that increases the amount of edible flesh in each piece of fruit. The Department of Agriculture has given approval to the company to bring the pineapples into the U.S., where it's grown in Costa Rica. The Del Monte Rosé does not have the ability to propagate and persist in the environment once it's harvested. Now, according to a USDA letter dated back in January, an article is according to that letter. And then according to an article published Friday by The Packer, an ag industry news outlet, quotes, a company spokesperson is saying the pineapples are not being produced for commercial distribution yet and are currently in the testing phase. It's really intriguing.
Yeah. Well, pineapples have large portions that can't be eaten.
The core and stuff. And the crazy skin that's on the outside.
Right. So as I understand this, the tangerine genes that have been spliced into this pineapple gene create more flesh that's edible, and it boosts some sort of lycopene level to the point that it gives the flesh a pink rosé sort of color. Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds cool, but we have to remember this is it's
intriguing, but it is a GMO.
It's a GMO, and we don't know we just don't know, what happens with stuff like this.
Right. There hasn't been enough study done to know what the long-term effects are of the scientific meddling we're doing.
Now, we're not splicing cat genes into a pineapple. So this is fruit and fruit, you know, but it's also not crossbreeding to come up with this, letting nature sort of do it. We are inserting genes in places where they're not naturally found. So we don't really know what happens with that.
Yeah, what all the ripple effects are. But, I think it is intriguing. It's interesting to see where all this goes. And I have a feeling that some of these genetically modified products are going to be designed to kind of bring people over to the side of like, hey, this is cool. Look what we can do.
The very first commercially offered genetically modified product was a tomato, the Flavor Saver it was called.
Yes.
And it was designed specifically for that. The thing was, it just didn't taste all that great, and it wasn't that great. So it didn't work.
Didn't work out. But there's some marketing going on here for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Patty, forecast. We're here in San Luis Obispo, where the show actually originates. The fog has already cleared.
It's right.
It's clearing.
It is clearing.
I should call it the marine layer.
Yes, I was driving in some intense fog behind a very slow Sunday driver, and with the fog, I thought I'm not brave enough to try to pass. It doesn't seem safe, so I just, went along behind them. But the fog is burning off here on the Central Coast. We are going to expect sunny skies and warm temperatures today. Highs in the mid to upper 70s from San Luis Obispo to San Francisco. For those runners in the Big Sur Marathon, it should be an amazing day.
Oh, yeah.
Inland temperatures are likely to climb into the 90s today. Yikes.
They might break records in the Sierra Nevada, Tahoe, and Yosemite with the temperatures near 80 degrees. You want to talk about waterfalls at full, just go ahead and turn on all those falls at Yosemite. They'll be at peak levels after that warm spell.
Sacramento and Fresno, look for those warm temperatures, and we are expecting this forecast that I just gave you for today to really hang around pretty much all week. We're going to see this similar weather pattern.
Similar is the
prognostication.
Yeah.
National Blueberry Pie Day.
Ooh,
so
I love me some blueberries.
Get your pie on.
All right, speaking of blueberries, Patty, we have a new list out. They put this out annually. The Environmental Working Group puts out this list that they call the Dirty Dozen. Blueberries are not on the list, thank goodness, because I do
that would be sad news.
Because I do not buy, I don't buy organic blueberries. They're not available currently where I get my blueberries. They are available. I shouldn't say that they're not, but
they're out there for people who want to find them.
Yeah, I get the big frozen bag at Costco, I'll be honest. But I wish. Okay, so this is a plea to Costco, since we mention you from time to time on this show. And I did talk, by the way, to the produce guy about you. He loves you, Patty.
The produce guy at Costco in San Luis Obispo.
Steve is his name?
No. I know who you're talking about, and his name is not coming to me right now, but he is really so nice and helpful, and if you ask for a little bit of help, or even if you don't, he'll just offer it.
Yeah. So they do some other organic berries there, and I want them to switch over. But anyway, we have to be quick about this. The Environmental Working Group has their new list, the Dirty Dozen. They call it the Dirty Dozen Plus because they've added 2 items that they feel really should be highlighted. So on this Dirty Dozen Plus list, the first we'll give you the Dirty Dozen. Apples, they're always at the top of the list. They have been for years. So if you can buy organic or pesticide-free apples, you're doing yourself a big favor. So these are the items that if you don't like to spend a lot of money on organics, when you do spend that extra money, these are the ones where you're doing yourself a service, Right.
And so for people who want to be more strategic with their shopping, then they can focus on these products instead of organic across the board, because that is more expensive.
And we do have a link to all of these at eatdrinkexplore.com under our program summary. Apples, celery, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes. So when you're doing wine, there you go, organic wine. Hot peppers, nectarines, the imported ones, peaches, potatoes, spinach. Good, I always buy organic spinach. Strawberries, and I know why that is, because of that herbicide or what? No, fungicide.
There is a chemical that's used traditionally in strawberries, and it's a pretty nasty one.
Sweet bell peppers, the red version. Kale or collard greens and summer squash. So the kale, collard greens, and summer squash are the plus, the additions they've added to this because they feel like there were types of pesticides.
Right, that are not supposed to be used but are lingering either in the environment or in some form and showing up, testing on those produce items. That's a little disturbing. Now, I'm glad someone's testing them.
Yes. Now, we don't like to just highlight the negative.
No, and I love this list because side by side with the things that you want to avoid are the options that are on the Clean 15 list. I love that.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to spend the extra money on organics for these. Avocados, thank goodness.
And asparagus. Asparagus.
Oh, asparagus is on there. I love it. So avocados, asparagus, cabbage, cantaloupe, sweet corn.
And I think it's time for sweet. I'm seeing that showing up everywhere. Sweet corn is in right now, right? Love it.
And so and definitely it peaks in the early summer, midsummer. Eggplant, grapefruit, kiwi, grown right here in California, mangoes, mushrooms, onions, papayas, pineapples, sweet peas, the frozen version, and sweet potatoes. Those are all really good for you also.
Very nice.
Now, the pineapples, just make sure it's not the rosé version, and then you're on the clean 15. All right, so there you have it. If you want to take a look at that list, we have it, like I said, available at eatdrinkexplore.com under our program summaries. All right, we're going to start the travel and tourism segment just a little bit early because our good friend Andrea Sachs, with the Washington travel writer for the Washington Post, sent me her What's the Deal column for today's post, and it was on the long side, so I thought, you know what, I really want to hit as many of these as possible. So I asked her, do you mind coming on a bit early? And she said, no prob. Andrea Sachs joins us right now from her comfort zone there in the nation's capital. Good morning, Andrea.
Oh, good morning. I'm actually outside the nation's capital today. I'm in Alexandria.
Oh, I love Alexandria.
I actually kicked the dog running to the phone. So Rudy the dachshund. I am so sorry.
Poor puppy.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Rudy. She's 16.
Oh, Rudy.
Outrageous.
Oh,
I know.
Andrea.
She actually runs faster down the hallway than I do when she has to go to the bathroom. So.
Andrea, I forget. Last month, we didn't hear from you because you were in Southeast Asia?
I was in Guam.
Oh, you were in Guam. That's right.
Yeah. I went there because I didn't. Well, by the time I did go, I finally had my passport. But when I wanted to go far away, and I didn't have my passport because it was being processed. So I went through this whole strategizing session of where can I go on my driver's license that's really, really far away, and I figured out Guam.
Oh, well,
so, I mean, we have to take advantage of these U.S. territories. They're part of our family.
Very nice.
I imagine with your job, you must have a zillion frequent flyer miles and those sorts of things.
I don't have as much as I should. Luckily, Guam, you have to fly domestic airports to get there. You can't fly through Narita, so I had to fly United. But often, like, I fly so many different airlines. I flew Qatar Air, and they don't let you keep any of your miles. Oh. So that was to Burma, so that was a waste of a million miles.
Yeah.
Mental miles. Yeah. So I wish I could, and I'm sort of, and we're not even talking about deals, we're talking about me. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But I have this weird, I don't know if you have this, like this sort of hoarding mentality when it comes to my frequent flyer miles.
Oh, no, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm scared to use them. Like, it's taken me since 1986 to get to this point, and I'm scared that I'll never get there again, so I don't use them.
I am a mile hoarder for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
I talked to a therapist about it. It made me so horrified because you help me use my miles.
Hey, at least they don't clutter up your house, and so you're not going to be the
yes,
focus
it's just cyber clutter.
Right. No cable show is going to be on your back about it. Okay, so now, pardon my ignorance, where is Tobago? Tobago, am I saying that correctly?
Oh, yeah, Tobago is in the Caribbean. Usually
okay.
Trinidad and Tobago, the sister islands.
Oh,
yes.
right.
When you hear it said like that, it's like, oh, right.
When you put them together. Exactly. So your very first, the only one we'll have time for this segment, Magdalena Grand Beach Resort. A 30% discount?
Oh, yeah, this one's great. It's a 30% discount. As you said, it's on Tobago, a Caribbean island. And so now rates are starting at $200 a night, which is so good for the Caribbean for two people. And usually it's $286.
Oh.
So and breakfast is included, and also kids 12 and younger stay for free.
Wow.
So, get yourself a kid because you don't have to pay for that kid. And it just sounds beautiful.
All right, Andrea, we're going to come back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 more to go through right after this short commercial break. We are speaking with Andrea Sachs, one of our favorites, Washington Post travel writer. Andrea, stick right there. Don't kick the dog during the commercial break.
I'm sitting down.
You're listening to the Eat Drink Explore Radio Network. We're back in just a moment.
Randall White here, host of Eat Drink Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Hello.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience.
You've waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
8:49 now the time on this Sunday Funday morning. Beautiful weather shaping up outside here on the California coast. Inland it'll be maybe uncomfortable near the 90-degree mark.
A little toasty.
The Sierra Nevada, absolutely gorgeous day to be out on the deck at one of those Tahoe restaurants right over the water. Ooh, that'd be
Sounds nice.
Right around 80 degrees. Record weather in Tahoe and Yosemite. So nice day to do a little springtime hiking in the Sierra. Careful of those swiftly running streams.
Yes.
Though. Those claim somebody every year. Don't be part of
careful.
that group, right? We are speaking with Washington Post travel writer Andrea Sachs. The What's the Deal column comes out in the Washington Post on Sundays, and we're running down the list of the best deals to be found worldwide right now. We talked about the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort in Tobago, 30% discount there. Andrea, let's go to Cancun, the Moon Palace Golf and Spa Resort.
This one is mind-boggling because they're basically like, just take over the hotel. We're not going to charge you anything. We're just going to fill your pockets with gold.
Oh.
Like, it's crazy. Like, when I looked this up, I'm like, what more are you offering? Like, you get a free yacht and, like, a cute captain to sail it for you. But in all seriousness, this all-inclusive has a variety of different things. But the ones that we listed were, if you book 7 nights, you get an air credit of up to $525.
Whoa.
For the air and land packages. If you don't need the air portion and you just do the land, you get up to $280 back. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Stay 5 nights or more, you get $1,500 in resort credits, plus 2 tickets to Cirque Dreams Rocks, which I guess is their version of Cirque du Soleil.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yay, the Beach Boys. If you're there on August 6th, you get 2 tickets to see the Beach Boys.
That would be fun. I would enjoy
That would be.
Yeah. So, Andrea, is this giant all-inclusive resort somewhat like a cruise ship where they just need a physical body there so they can sell other things? You know what I mean? That's how cruises make their money.
Right. So
Yeah,
it's not on
like
the
they
fare?
offer it.
Right. Does that
Yeah,
sound
it's,
right?
like, super cheap. Not so much because you can go because it's all inclusive, so you're really not paying for the food, which I guess is like a cruise ship.
Yeah.
But if you want to upmarket it, you can pay for some additional foods and snacks and things like that. But I think you can truly go, if you're a smart traveler, and pay whatever the base rate is and not spend anything extra because the activities are included. Unless, of course, you want to do a special activity that's outside the property or, probably like scuba diving they often charge for. So I don't think it's as insidious as cruise ships.
Well, it's enormous. I could only fit a portion of, on our video simulcast, a portion of the picture of this resort on it because it's just so big and long. It takes up a big piece of beach. I did notice that I have the wrong graphic. I'm still showing the wording. I still say the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort. This is, just for clarity, the Moon Palace Golf and Spa Resort in Cancun. All right. Let's take as they say in Britain, let's take a holiday, right? The Holiday Inn Resorts has a deal going on.
And this one's great, too, because it's just so sweet and simple, and it's not confusing. I mean, not that Moon Palace is confusing, but that one sort of gave me a headache. But this one was so easy because basically you just stay at a Holiday Inn Resort, which, you always think Holiday Inn, it's sort of like low tier, but the resort properties are very, very nice. And they are offering the deal in the United States, Mexico, and the Caribbean. And you get a gift card of up to $100. And the gift card is specific to modes of travel. So you either get it for gas, Shell, Exxon, or Chevron. You get it for an airline, Delta, United, or Southwest, or for Amtrak.
Wow.
Which, if you go to Mexico, obviously, I don't think Amtrak runs there.
No.
But certainly the U.S. And so it starts at, you get $25 for 3 nights, $50 for 4 nights, and $75 for 5 nights or more.
And we're showing
Oh, wait,
the
you know what?
Puerto
I got that
Vallarta
wrong.
one. Oh.
This is my inability to read semicolons. Can we rewind? Hello, everyone. So if you pay 2 nights, you get $25, 3 nights, $50, 4 nights, $75, 5 nights or more, $100.
Okay.
That's a better deal.
Yes. And like you said, Holiday Inn, there's a lot of Holiday Inn hotels, but there's only a handful of Holiday Inn resorts.
Right. And the ones that we showed an example, Aruba and Acapulco and Daytona Beach. There are a couple in Florida, a couple in Texas it's only participating resorts, so it's not all of the resorts that are within the brand. But it's a nice selection.
All right, so we're moving on to a cruise now, huh?
We are. And this one is benefiting number 3 and 4 guests. So if you have a family, this is great because the 3rd and 4th guests get a discount on Royal Caribbean cruises between September and December. So, for example, a 3-night cruise to Bahamas starts at $99 each for the 3rd and 4th guests.
Wow.
I know, it's like pocket change. Well, not for me, but for some people.
I've been in those cruise rooms. I can't imagine fitting a 3rd or 4th person in them, but
It comes with a shoehorn.
right.
Yeah. It's sort of like, go get a cocktail and pass out on the upper deck.
Right. There you go.
Room.
Our audio guy, Anthony, loved that.
Yeah. I have a friend that does it all the time. I don't know why he gets a cabin. He just always gets a lounge chair out on the top deck and passes out and wakes up at like 4 a.m, all covered in dew. It's really funny.
Oh, that's funny. Royal Caribbean is what? They're above mid-range when it comes to the cruise lines.
Yeah, they're well respected, and it's not as party vessel as say Carnival is, so it's sort of mid range. It attracts all types of cruisers, but certainly not the hardcore partiers.
So you have a couple of airline deals as well in this week's crop, and Southwest has sale fares because they have a new nonstop service to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
They do. Nice accent, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And JetBlue just started service to San Juan. I don't know if it's a competition going on between the two, but JetBlue just introduced nonstop service to San Juan, Puerto Rico, as you say. I can never roll my R's. But this one is from BWI. The fare is $282, which is so good. So down there, and then other airlines.
That's Baltimore.
That is Baltimore.
And see, Andrea's in the travel industry, so she's one of those
she knows all the
people-
codes.
Right, exactly. Oh, I'm going to fly from
I'm so
ORD
sorry.
to LAX and then take a quick hopper up to...
BWI is KOK. I'm sorry, that's Baltimore.
No, that's okay. And then Virgin, so that we can come visit you, Virgin America has discounted flights between San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Washington Dulles.
Yeah, so come visit me because we'll split the fare. It's $372.
And then you come visit us with all your hoarded miles.
I know. I don't have it on Virgin America, though. That's the problem. Fly
Okay.
United and I'll throw you some miles. But no, I wish I flew Virgin America more often or ever. I heard it's so fabulous.
They're a great airline. I've flown them in the past and really enjoyed it. What's the deal between the two cities?
Between Dallas and San Francisco?
Yeah.
And LA? It's $372.
Oh, that is a good deal. Yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, some other carriers are sort of saying they have the same rate, but it's not the same experience, I think.
Well, you have
I'm not
you have one
gratified.
more that we don't have time to get to. It's a trip to Fiji in Australia, but people can find that link online, eatdrinkexplore.com, under today's program summary, or just go to the Washington Post travel page. Andrea Sachs, Washington Post travel writer. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Oh, my pleasure. Always my pleasure.
And be good
Rudy
to your
says
dog.
Thank you for kicking me in the face.
All right, everyone, you're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. A full hour straight ahead. We'll be taking your health and fitness tips in the second half hour. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by Patty Piper. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink Explore Radio Network, live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Fabulous.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Well, a good day, everyone. 9 o'clock straight up on this Sunday fun day morning. You're listening to Crush 92.5 FM in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, San Luis Obispo. We are broadcasting live just above Pete's Coffee on Higuera Street between Osos and Morro. Morro. There we go. It takes me a while to get that.
Get that R roll. I'm not even going to try it.
When I used to work with you, Patty, at KCOY CBS 12 in the mornings, you know, we had to drive in at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so to keep myself awake, as I would drive from San Luis Obispo to Santa Maria, I have to pass Los Berros Road. And that I would start practicing my R roll in the mornings. That's how I got good at it. And as you can tell, I didn't get very good at it. Well, good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us. This hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by the wonderful people at Eberly Winery in Paso Robles. Open daily from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. Beautiful day today to head up there and enjoy the Eberly hospitality. Voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery, located on 46 East in Paso Robles. Log on to eberlywinery.com, EBERLE winery.com. And just out of habit, I said head up there. But
right,
you
it
might,
could be down, across, over.
It all depends on where you're listening, right? So head to Eberly Winery is how I should put it. So Miss Pyburn, the Big Sur Marathon is underway. Mm-hmm. So all the fine people here in San Luis Obispo County or northern Santa Barbara County that might be thinking to head north on Highway 1 needs to keep in mind that Highway 1 is shut down.
Yes.
Big Sur to Carmel
Highlands. And then for the people who are up north, maybe in Monterey or Santa Cruz County, the same thing. They can't come down this way for a while.
No, they need to hold off
yes.
until 1 or 1:30. Between 1 and 1:30
it should open up.
Yeah, it's what the organizer told me. And I haven't gotten any emails from her this morning. I told her to, if there was anything kind of big deal happening, please let us know. Then again, if it's a really big deal, does she have time to let us know?
Right, she might be too busy. Yes.
But
so if you're expecting someone to arrive, if you're expecting a visitor today and they're delayed, it could be that.
What a gorgeous route that is though, for a marathon.
And what a gorgeous day.
Really, it's shaping up so nicely here. The last time we talked about the weather, a half an hour ago, there was still some fog hanging around. At least from our vantage point here, there's none to be seen
It's
anymore.
all rolled back.
And, you know, I have a habit of calling it fog because I grew up calling it fog.
It's a marine layer.
Fog, technically, is a cloud on the ground.
Yeah.
So if indeed it's obscuring your view, you know, then it's fog, you know. But if it's overhead, technically it's not fog. It's a coastal marine layer that's moved in overhead. At some point it was fog out over the water, you know, but
right.
it's really a cloud over
For me,
head.
coming into San Luis Obispo today from Arroyo Grande, it was fog.
It was fog.
It was on the roadway.
Yeah. So then at that point it is that's right.
Yes.
Good, Patty.
I've been paying attention.
Well, we have a fun hour ahead here. In just a moment, we'll be kickstarting it. You know, we're starting to see some of that tsunami debris wash up here in California. Nowhere near us. It's much farther north, but that doesn't mean it won't hit us here. And we will speak with an expert, a part of NOAA's, that's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They have a marine debris program in place. She'll be telling us what to look out for and those sorts of things and how much more is on the way. Then in the final half hour, we really want your calls. 805-545-0332. Write that down so you can use it later. 805-545-0332. We have a nutrition and health expert taking your calls. We're back in just a moment.
Hey, farmers market fans, listen up because we're launching a new show just for you. Join the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network each Thursday evening from 5:30 to 6 for a healthy dose of recipe sharing and food news. We broadcast our show live from the historic downtown San Luis Obispo Farmers Market, but the information shared is designed for anyone who has a love of fresh, seasonal produce and locally made artisan treats. So whether your favorite market is located at San Francisco's Ferry Plaza in downtown Santa Monica, or if you're simply a member of a CSA, you'll love our weekly Market Fresh, available live each Thursday evening at eatdrinkexplore.com. And if you missed the show, follow our updates on Facebook and Twitter for links to the recipes shared, video from the show, and other great information. Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh, helping perfect your California flavor.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Hour number 2 of the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. Good morning, everyone. 9:06 now the time. Glad you can join us here for the show today. I am your host, Randall White, as the lovely and talented Kira Clapper just mentioned there. And we are coming to you live from California's Central Coast. Patty Pyburn by my side. Each week, we bring you current information on food, beverage, and travel trends so that you can get the most out of your life and really experience California in all of its wonder. Straight ahead on this hour of the program, you know that boat that was found up near the Oregon border? Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out that it is indeed from Japan and part of that tsunami debris. So we will have someone on the line shortly to talk about that. But also in the bottom half hour from 9:30 until 10 o'clock, we will be getting fitness and health tips. He addresses nutrition as well, right? Julian is a nutrition guy. And so we'll be really giving you lots of great information that a lot of businesses pay this guy to come into their company to get their staffs in shape. And, the healthier your staff is, the better your business typically runs, more efficiently and at lower cost. And so, but we're giving you Julian for free. You get to
very nice.
That's right. You get to find out information from Julian and call in with your questions. I want to give you the number now. We're not taking the calls quite yet, but we'll announce it when we do. And it's always nice to have the phone number in hand so that you can make the cut. 805 is the area code. So 805-545, which is pretty easy to remember, 0332. So 805-545-0332 is the number that you can call in and ask your questions to Julian. Patty and I have several of our own questions for him so that we can get into shape. But if some of you do call in, we will indeed take it and patch it through to Julian so you can ask your question. All right, so as I was mentioning, this piece of debris landed on the California coastline following the 2011 tsunami and earthquake in Japan. Dr. Sherry Lippiett with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA as we call them, has a marine debris program, which she's part of, and nice enough to join us this morning to give us some pointers about this stuff that might float up at a coastline near you. Sherry, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, hi, nice to be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So the overall assumption was that this boat was from Japan, but interesting sort of turn of events to figure out that it was indeed, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it turns out that it was a 20-foot skiff that washed up south of Crescent City on April 7th, and it had the boat had Asian markings on it, and local authorities recognized that it could be related to the earthquake and tsunami. So they notified us, and we worked with the Japanese consulate here in San Francisco, who officially confirmed it through the government of Japan that it came from Takata High School in Owate Prefecture.
which the high school and the town itself was completely devastated by the tsunami. But somehow this boat, made its way across and washed up in Crescent City.
Wow. So the high school had a boat. My high school didn't have a boat, but I guess, yeah.
It's a coastal town, so I guess it was part of their marine science program.
Right. And so so now it is absolutely confirmed that we could begin to see more of this. Now, you have a page online as part of this marine debris program that shows a map of the Pacific Ocean between Japan and California. And there's a big, what I would just refer to as a glob in the middle. And it looks like it's headed right for the California coastline. Are we expecting to see a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, so it's not actually in any kind of mass or, a big sort of mass or glob of debris that's moving this way. So that map is actually the result of a modeling exercise, so a computer model that simulates the movement of particles across the ocean since the time of the event.
Okay.
So that shaded area really is just telling us where the majority of those particles in the computer model end up at the current day.
I see.
So that's sort of our best estimate for where most of the debris is. But, yeah, it's not in a mass. And, what we've been seeing up and down the West Coast in Alaska and in Hawaii is just sort of scattered and intermittent sightings of debris rather than sort of all at once or, a lot coming at the same time.
Takes a lot longer to get over here than I thought it would.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ocean is very big.
Right. And I guess if it's not a ship that's on a course, it's just something that's kind of willy-nilly floating around. It's a little different than we expected to just head straight over here, and that's not happening.
Right.
I have a question for you, because I think one of the things that comes to mind when people hear this tsunami debris because of that big Fukushima disaster is there an additional danger with any of this debris as far as, being contaminated with radioactivity or anything of that nature?
So experts have assured us that there's no threat of radioactivity associated with the debris, and there's a couple reasons. And so the first is that the tsunami wave inundated a large stretch of shoreline, whereas that incident happened just at one point. And also the tsunami wave receded and brought all of the debris out into the ocean before the meltdown actually occurred.
Okay.
In addition, over the 2 years since the time of the event, the isotopes would have degraded, and these confirmed sightings, many of them have been tested for radioactivity, and all of them have come back at or below normal levels.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of people, their very first thought was, these things are going to be radioactive.
Right. What is coming along with that?
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. We are, it's totally safe to go on the shorelines, and tsunami debris in general is no different than any other debris. But we are telling people, just to be safe and use common sense. Where if you see an item and you don't know what it is, don't touch it, and if it appears to be hazardous, to contact your local authorities.
Yeah, well, that just makes sense, right?
So you're tracking this. Is there an expectation of like a time frame when more of it is going to start showing up, or is that just something that we can't really predict?
It is really hard to predict the movement of debris. Ocean winds and currents are changing all the time, and we also don't know a whole lot about exactly what is still out there and what exactly was washed out with the tsunami. But around this time frame is when our models predicted that we might start to see some of this debris wash up in the California coast.
And lo and behold.
The recent sighting has confirmed that. So
right.
So at one of our recent coastal cleanups in March, EcoSlow does they coordinate cleanups all the time, and they found a plastic bottle with Japanese embossed, molded into the plastic. All the labeling was gone off the bottle. So I don't think it's been confirmed that it's absolutely tsunami debris, but they, thought, well, this could be. It's definitely from Japan, and they found it on the shore.
When was
I think in the beginning of March at Montaña de Oro.
Oh, okay. Well, interesting. Dr. Sherry Lippiatt with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA as we know it, a marine debris program. Stick around. I'm curious about what the most common items are that pop up on our coastal shores. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, and we're back in just one moment. All right. I thought I'd fixed that. Apparently I hadn't. We are. This is where a commercial break should typically go. But I do want to tell you right now, coming up in July the 13th, it is a Saturday. We, Eat, Drink, Explore Media, really, really, really want you to set aside that date and go to San Francisco for the 14th annual Breast Fest. All of the proceeds from this festival, which is so much fun, held at Fort Mason there on the San Francisco waterfront. The money goes to the Charlotte Maxwell Clinic, which is a free clinic that gives women the additional complementary treatment that they need when they're undergoing breast cancer treatment, which, as you know, can make you nauseous and sick and everything. Nauseated, I should say.
Right.
And it's a great event. For more information, thebreastfest.com. Thebreastfest.com.
Very good.
The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. Good Sunday morning, everyone. 9:19 now the time. If you're looking at your watch, you can set it. Set it and
it's
forget
official.
it. Yes, 9:19. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by the lovely, talented Patty Pyburn, and we are joined by Dr. Sherry Lippiatt with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA's Marine Debris Program. Welcome back, Doctor.
Thanks.
And we were talking about the confirmation of some tsunami debris on the coast up near Crescent City, that boat that had floated all the way over after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan. And you had pointed out that do not be concerned. This debris is not likely to be radioactive because most of it washed away from the coast prior to the meltdown, or like
the disaster at Fukushima.
Fukushima, right. And so I guess what I'm curious about now is what types of debris are we looking for, and are there sort of some hot spots along the coast where you expect most of this to wash up? We have a long coastal region in our listening area, everywhere from San Diego to Santa Barbara, most of the central coast, really. And so would we be kind of in that slot where we might see some of this wash up?
Yeah, so as far as types of debris, so initially the initial sort of pulse of debris that we were seeing was more of the what's called higher windage debris, so stuff that floats higher at the surface of the water, and so it's more affected by the winds in addition to the currents when it moves across the ocean. So that was things like buoys, some larger vessels, things like that. And so now that we're sort of, more than 2 years after the event, we are expecting to see more lower wind stuff. So, for example, with this boat, it was floating upside down.
Oh.
So only a little bit of it was floating above the surface of the water, and presumably then it moved slower across the ocean. As far as other types of low windage debris, it might be things like lumber or just other items, that are a little bit denser and are floating a little bit lower at the surface.
And I would imagine some of that's just indistinguishable as to the country of origin, right?
Exactly, yeah. In most cases, it's very difficult to identify the exact source of an item. So, for example, with the plastic bottle that we were talking about earlier that had Japanese markings on it, you never know whether it came from Japan, from the tsunami event, or whether it was purchased at the store up the street and littered.
Right.
Right.
It's a good point. Is there any other thought with the debris that's coming over that it could be that it has some hitchhikers with it? Bring in some other invasive species that we're not used to having on our coastline?
Yeah, so invasive species are a concern, and so there is sort of a task force that was put together and developed some guidelines. So in general, we're most concerned about items that were sitting in the coastal environment in Japan in the water for a long period of time. So, for example, the docks that washed up in Washington and Oregon were just covered in species that are native to coastal Japan, and then they actually made it all the way over to our shores. And here, it's an opportunity for those species to colonize our coastline. So what we're asking people to do is that if they see an item that has growth on it that they think might not be from around here, and if they're able to do so, to move it up above the high tide line, or potentially even discard of the item and the growth itself.
They're dealing with one of those problems right now in Southern California. There's an invasive snail, I think, that is overtaking some of the waterways down there.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So another question I have, because we're so focused on the tsunami debris, because it has that sort of wow factor. It's remarkable. It's an event that we haven't seen happen, in our lifetime. But my question is, what is more of a true threat to our coastlines as far as debris? Is it, just litter that we're responsible for, people who actually live here in California, plastic bottles, plastic bags, that kind of stuff? What would you say is really something we should be a little more focused on?
Yeah, so, tsunami debris really is just part of a larger problem. So marine debris, is generated every day, and we can, continue to address it by reducing it at the source. So, like you said, all of those consumer items, plastic bags, straws, things that are sort of single-use disposable plastics or other materials that, we don't necessarily need to be consuming, and then through, poor waste management or accidental or littering, can make its way to our coastlines, and those are the very common types of debris that we see.
We hear about this giant garbage patch that's off the coast, and I know that estimates have varied in terms of how large it actually is. Where does NOAA stand on this? How big do they think it is, and how?
Is there anything to be done about it?
Yeah, what do we do about this giant garbage patch?
Yeah, so there really is no way to measure the dimensions of the garbage patch. And so it really is just an area of the ocean where, because of the surface currents and the way that they push the surface water to converge at that in that location, it's just an area of concentrated debris compared to other areas of the ocean. And like you said, there really isn't anything that we can do because any efforts to try and clean it up would it'd be an incredible number of ships, an incredible amount of time and fuel to get out there to cover a huge area. And what NOAA focuses on is prevention, so trying to reduce the input of marine debris into the ocean.
Let's not make it any bigger.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and there's small changes that we can all make in our everyday lives. And here on the Central Coast, we have a lot of the things like fees on plastic bags or bans on certain, common types of marine debris. So things like that can really, we each can make a difference in our decisions that we make on an everyday basis.
Yeah, I realized that I asked you a two-part question before, which is never fair because when you get done with one, then we're throwing another question your way. But the second part was, is there a stretch of the California coast that may
be more of a target?
Maybe more of a target for this tsunami debris floating over? Have the models shown something along that level?
So I think in general, just the northern part of the state is likely to see more of the tsunami debris, just because the way that the currents move, the California current moves south along the coast. So that's the more likely location that debris will wash up. But as far as specific locations, there's typical sort of stretches of shoreline that often see accumulation of debris, and even just regular like kelp and other woody types of debris. So those spots are where we would expect any tsunami debris would be more likely to wash up.
Mm-hmm.
When we think about that Pacific garbage patch, going back to that, and how it seems sometimes just insurmountable to think of people stopping that kind of litter reaching the ocean. But I had an interesting experience when we were traveling and we were in London, and we couldn't find any public garbage cans. And they expect people, and this is because of, unfortunately, because of terrorist fear of someone using that garbage can to conceal something. So, but the end result is you pack it in, you pack it out, kind of like what they ask people to do if you're camping. Right. So there's nowhere to put your litter. If you have it, you got to take it out with you. But it's a remarkably clean city. And my point being, it can happen.
Yes. Let's do it.
We don't have to have litter. It can happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like we're as generations move on, we're getting better at this thing. I'm hoping,
The young ones are better than we are.
Yeah, absolutely. The kids understand. They get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Sherry Lippiatt, Dr. Sherry Lippiatt, I should say, NOAA's Marine Debris Program. More information is online. We have a link to all of the stuff we've been talking about at eatdrinkexplore.com under today's program summary. Sherry, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday morning.
Yeah, thanks, Randall.
Keep up the good work as well.
Thanks.
All right. Stick around, everyone. We are taking your health and fitness calls. Seriously, you want some free health advice? I'm sure you pay a lot of money for it otherwise, or you buy the right book or all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do any of that right now. All you have to do is call 805-545-0332. 805-545-0332 is the phone number to talk to Mr. Julian Varela. He's our fitness expert, coming up next. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
May is National Bike Month. Now, I used to be intimidated at the thought of biking to work. I worried about my outfit, the traffic, and the time. But my expanding waistline and rising gas prices helped me rethink that position. And last May, I tried riding to work. What an amazing change. In the years since I started riding to work, I've lost weight, saved money on gas, and canceled my gym membership. You should try it. Here are a few tips to help you get started. Alter your route for biking. Cars and bikes are both vehicles and both have a right to the road, but you'll feel more comfortable and more able to enjoy your ride if you choose less traveled streets. Ride with a friend the first few times, someone who has experience biking to work. They'll help you figure out how to carry your clothes, where to park your bike, and the easiest way to get to the office. Follow all the same rules you follow while driving. Signal before you turn, stop at all stop signs, and stay in the rightmost lane going in your direction. Biking to work is fun, easy, and enjoyable. Try it. For more tips and techniques on how to commute by bicycle or to find other cyclists in your area, visit bikeleague.org.
The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
And the time now, 9:33 on this Sunday morning. Great to have you joining us here on the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network today. I am your host, Randall White. And as you know, any regular listener to the program, cooking and...
All right, the problem has been fixed. Randall White is making his way back to the microphone.
Okay, so here's the deal.
And we're on.
Right after the show last week, I fixed that. I got rid of that file.
How did it come back?
And I added commercials in at 9:15 where they were supposed to go. And so I don't... There's like a
Did
ghost...
you not hit the save button?
That might have been the problem. It's always user error. That's the thing. So anyway, I
no, it
apologize.
has to be the computer. It has to be the computer.
Well, in my defense, I went to the hospital on Sunday
This is
night
true.
for food poisoning. So maybe it was a delirious dream that I even did any of that, but I don't know. I'm guessing it's food poisoning. It could just be viral gastritis or something like that. Does that sound right?
I don't know. It sounds terrible, whatever it is.
Yeah, let me tell you, it was terrible. I'm at 46 years old. I've never had an IV. And
You're 46 years old? No, just kidding.
By the way, yes. And so it was weird going to the hospital, but the nurse did put in some sort of magical solution that made me feel much better.
It was very nice of her.
Yes, it was some sort of narcotic. I told her to hold off on the narcotic. Don't only give me just a little bit of the dose because I know that genetically my family gets ill from narcotics.
Okay.
And so, it just makes them nauseated.
You didn't want to be ill on top of ill.
Exactly. So, so she goes, okay, and so they gave me a light dose, and then I was like, I kind of like that. And then I said, nurse, can you give me the rest of that dose, please? and I felt much, much, much better. So, on the radio, there's double. Can you still hear something? Yeah, double playing. Oh, I'm being told by. So
you have an echo.
So when I talk, I'm echoing.
Echo.
There's something recording and it's playing right now.
Huh. I'm not sure, and that might only be on one of our radio stations. So I just want to continue with what I got going here. But Because, okay. Darn.
What to do?
I apologize, folks, if you're hearing me talk with something else playing in the background. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Is it me in both cases? Or is it...
It sounds the programming from the Crush. Yeah, now it's commercials.
Okay. So I apologize to our KSCO AM 1080 listeners in Santa Cruz. It looks like it was just a problem with the computers at our San Luis Obispo station, and that's the one we monitor to find out if everything's going okay. So if you're listening in Santa Cruz or Monterey, and you're like, what is this guy on? I think he's still on those narcotics from the nurse last Sunday. Okay, let's get to the topic at hand now. At 9:36, we shall. We welcome to the program. This is his second time here on the show, Julian Varela, and he is our local health and fitness expert. Julian, welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program.
Thanks for having me back a second time.
Yes.
I'm not sure why. Do I get a gold star?
You do. Smiley face.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
You get a pen.
Yes.
We no longer do matchbooks.
Okay.
So
well, that's good.
Julian, your career has shifted since the last time you were on, and now you are, if I understand this correctly, you are brought in by companies to get the staff in shape. Do I have that right?
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a nutshell, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
That's correct.
And so, because why? Because companies have found that if their staff is healthy, everything's more successful.
For a number of reasons. Yes, I mean that's a perfect example. The healthier we can. The healthier we can create our company, the healthier the employees will be. The absenteeism will go down. We'll find that just the culture in general will tend to improve, simply because healthier people tend to be also very happier.
Yeah.
So I mean, you name it. When we look into 2014 with Obamacare too, it's not just a luxury. I think it's going to be a necessity that companies start to focus on the health of their own employees. Companies just won't be able to afford unhealthy people. Unfortunately, we have really unhealthy people in our world. The future's not looking so bright.
Right. How is it that Obamacare is going to create that?
Well, in some regard, now companies will be required to provide some type of health care for their employees, especially for employers with 50 employees or more. And with that extra expense, you can imagine that what we're projecting is healthcare premiums are going to increase for a lot of people. And so if we can mitigate the risk, if we can help to offset people going into the ER for food poisoning,
right,
and narcotics. I'm sorry. No.
Right. No, they gave me the narcotics.
Right.
What is the when you approach these groups of employees, what is it that you find there must be some key areas where you always see problems? What are some of these key areas where you can attack right away?
That's a really tough question because it's everything. When you take a look at someone's health, it encompasses their mental health, their physical well-being, how they eat, how they deal with stress, their relationships, so on and so forth. When an employee walks through the door to go to work, they're walking in with all of those things. So when we work with companies, we're taking a look at all of those things. We'll start by taking a look at blood panels, taking a look at their cholesterol levels, their glucose levels to monitor for diabetes, to really help individuals to understand if they have any risk factors to begin with. A lot of people are walking around with diabetes or blood pressure through the roof. They're taking Time Bomb, but they don't even know it. So the first step is to understand what the risk factors are, and then to provide education on a regular basis to help them to better understand what to do with those risk factors, and thereafter to help the individual really reorganize their life in a way that will put them back onto a healthier path.
Now, how are the employees? Are they receptive to this? Are they kind of like, stay out of my business?
Right, because it is sort of...
Some people might... I'm wondering, are they resistant or are they open to it?
Well, the program that we're providing it's voluntary.
Okay.
So you don't have to participate. And so for people that do feel that maybe it's a little intrusive, they don't have to jump on board. The program that we've developed, I'm working in collaboration with Compass Health, and we've created a new division under Compass Health. They're one of the larger local employers in town, primarily healthcare. So the new division is Compass Health Wellness and Prevention. And what we have done essentially with Compass Health is providing financial incentives for employees to participate. So you participate in the wellness program, and guess what? You're going to get a $40 per month insurance premium break.
Oh, that's nice.
And then if your husband or your wife decides to participate, then they'll double that. So by the end of the year, you should put $1,000 back into your pocket.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, intrusive or not, they want the $1,000.
Right. That's a nice savings.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great! I would jump on that if I was, if I was part of that.
Did you want to start right now? I have $40.
Sure, and everybody here can have a health assessment.
We just need to take a blood draw.
I have had that lately, as a matter of fact. So, what about diet? Is that something that you address with these groups of people? You know, what happens if you walk into the room and everyone's overweight? Or do you see people on a person by person basis, or is this a group thing?
It's both. So when we visit certain sites, we'll provide in-service education that will. We're all over the place. So when I say all over the place, I mean we'll present on nutrition, on serving sizes, on stress management, on depression and anxiety, on exercise programming, so on and so forth, or just behavior change, or why, or to help people understand why change is so hard and to get them motivated to the point where they can change. So we talk a little bit about everything. Nutrition, yes, but not but nutrition, butts getting big because of obesity. No, nutrition is one component, like I said. So it's a little bit of everything.
Sometimes it's not the employee you might be addressing. If you walk around the company and take a look at the vending machines and that sort of thing, do you ever go to management and say,
of course,
hey,
of course, there's a science to vending machines. You know, they say if you place healthier food products to the right and in the middle of vending machines, people are more likely to pick those items. So
really,
there's one tip for employers if they do want to encourage their employees to eat healthier, from, of course, the Snickers bar machine.
Instead of having the healthy things on the bottom, out of sight, you can barely see it. And the vending machines that I used to have access to,
just didn't have healthy choices.
There wasn't even a healthy choice. There were less unhealthy choices, like granola bars that really masquerade as, they're candy bars masquerading as granola bars.
Right.
And then maybe some microwave
I know the
popcorn.
vending machines you're talking about, Randall.
You're intimate with them at my former station. Well, up close and personal.
Yes, I see them every day.
That's a little strange. It's a little strange.
Whole different type of vending machine.
Right. Really expensive one, it sounds like.
Exactly. We are speaking with Julian Varela. He is a fitness coach. Is that how you would say it? A health coach?
That's a really good question too.
Yeah. Providing the answers. Right.
Call him whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
He gets you on the right track for a much healthier mind, body, and soul.
Wow,
how's
sounds
that?
good. I'm going to use that as a tagline.
There you go. Put it on your business card. You can get free information from him right now if you'd like to ask a question of Julian. 805-545-0332. We'll be taking calls during the commercial break and lining you up with your questions for Julian. 805-545-0332. 805-545-0332. 9:44 the time right now. You are listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by the lovely and talented Patty Pyburn. We have just our one final segment left with Julian, so we'll take your calls at that point.
Should they call now?
On this Sunday morning. That's right.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Can we have your attention for a moment?
Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly. Did you know you can watch a live video simulcast of our Sunday morning and Thursday evening shows from your computer, smartphone, or tablet device? And to top it off, it's free. Simply head to eatdrinkexplore.com or download our free app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest segment, send an email to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're always looking for fresh ideas, including yours. We love to share fresh, local, organic, seasonal, and sustainable ideas throughout the week. And the best place to find those are on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook feeds. Our username across the social networking universe is simple: Eat, Drink, Explore, all one word. Hey, college students, Eat, Drink, Explore Media is always looking for qualified journalism or marketing interns. Send us an email today so we can check your status and put you on the list for upcoming intern vacancies. Would you like to hear this Eat, Drink, Explore radio program on one of your local radio stations? Let the station know and contact us as well so we can get the ball rolling. Okay, you made it. The local affiliate commercial break is now over. Time for more informative and entertaining programming from Eat, Drink, Explore Media. Thank you for your patience. And welcome back to the final segment here of the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network on this Sunday morning. Great to have you with us, and welcome back to Jack Bishop, chef and editorial director at America's Test Kitchen on PBS, the new book, The
Okay, and we're back. I feel like it's Groundhog Day, and it just keeps happening over and over again.
Okay, I got to tell you, this is frustrating and not fun.
So we did watch you delete that file, and then we did watch it put itself back. I don't know what's going on.
I apologize.
At least you're vindicated. We know that you did delete it, and it did bring itself back.
Yes, so... It's a file that...
There's a ghost in the machine.
There is. The machine. Well, we're back. 9:49 now the time on this Sunday, not very fun day. Technically wise, but all in all, everything...
we're having a good time.
We are having a good time. The weather, beautiful here on California's Central Coast. We are joined by Julian Varela. He's with Compass Health, Wellness, and Prevention. And he is in charge of getting people in shape for the most part.
Amen.
Okay, good. I feel like I'm not getting that right either, but I am, right?
Is that right? Is he right?
He's right.
Okay, good.
Good. Good job, Randall.
So You said you attack it at on several different levels, mentally, diet, fitness, along those sorts of lines. What do you tell people fitness wise, like to work it in slowly, and then do you give them let's just be what am I trying to say here? Like, give an example.
Can I help you?
Yes. All of a sudden, I'm like just hitting a complete.
Okay. I think what Randall wants to know is what would be like 3 easy things that you could ask someone to change about their lifestyle to get them on their, people at home could start doing this right now and it would make a difference.
Yes. This is why she's been my co-anchor for many, many years, because she can read my mind. I'm so discombobulated right now. I totally apologize. Anyway, Patty, you finish.
Randall needs some other kind
Patty,
of
help. Do I answer Randall through you?
Yes.
Do I talk to you and you'll answer Randall, or do I look at him?
She's my, what was Whoopi Goldberg's character in Ghost? Yeah. Yeah, she's my something brown.
I'm the translator.
Right, translator.
Okay, yes.
So again, that question depends on the type of population that we're working with. And the reason why I say that is if somebody's already fairly active, then they really
You're going to tell them something.
I'm going to tell them to work out harder, right? Work out a little bit more intensely.
Step it up.
For more improved results. If you're working with somebody that really hasn't done a thing, then the first step is actually education. Before we start designing a workout program for them, we need to sit them down and say, okay, look, this is what exercise is going to do for you.
Okay.
This is what eating healthfully is going to do for you. This is how you can actually eat healthfully. This is how you can eat healthy meals in, say, 15 minutes or so. So for more of our sedentary population, the things are education, a little motivation, and then scheduling their life to allow them to, again, rearrange and reprioritize.
So they can find a way to incorporate some activity into their current schedule. Because I think you probably hear, I'm going to guess, a lot from people that they just don't have time.
They don't have the time.
Everyone
has the same amount of time, though, right? and for the most part.
I imagine people say the demands on them with family life and work obligations don't allow for them to work out. I'm just guessing because it's something that I say.
I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time. The unfortunate thing is people have a tendency to care for everybody else but themselves. They care for their spouse, their partner, their kids,
their children,
their coworkers, and they're the last thing on their to-do list. And unfortunately, that doesn't set people up for success. It's going to turn around and bite them in the butt, in 10, 15 years.
I guess it's that idea that when you're in an emergency situation, the oxygen mask comes down, you're supposed to put it on yourself first, and that seems counterintuitive. You want to put it on your loved one first, but you can't help your loved one if you're not surviving. So I guess that would be the theory behind that.
That would be the theory behind that.
Okay.
Yeah. One example is when you take a look at people in the nursing profession or in the healthcare profession. Oftentimes, those individuals, they're the unhealthiest. They care so much
busy
for other people that you find that
So what do you say to those people? What do you tell them right now? They're listening. What are you going to tell them?
Give me a call. Let's talk about it.
I'm gonna pound it out of him over the head.
What do you really say to them?
Exactly. No. What? Yeah. So let's say they did give you a call and they're like,
they're hypothetically on the line right now.
Yeah. They're hypothetically on the line. Right. And they just say, I just don't have the time. I can't do it. How do you boost their wantingness to do it?
I'd put it back on themselves and say, well, if your daughter were in the same position as you are, what would you tell her?
That's a good one.
We'd have to use a little bit of motivational psychology,
right?
And we just have to make sure that the why is there. And what I don't know if we have time for a story.
Yes,
we have time for a story. So there was a gentleman who at the age of 42 had a 4-year-old daughter named Megan, and she had kidney disease, and he was told that she only had about a year to live if his daughter did not get a kidney transplant. And so anyhow, they come to find out his kidney cross-matched with hers, and he was quite excited. The bad news was that his doctor said, I can't operate because you are over 100 pounds overweight. And he said, if you don't lose that weight within about a year, your daughter's not going to get the kidney.
Right.
And so he was a sedentary individual, couch potato, was not an athlete, a software engineer. So he sat on the computer all day long. And somehow, over a course of a year, he went from 294 pounds down to 198 pounds, went from a 48-inch waist down to a 38-inch waist. And 1 year later, he was able to donate his kidney to his 4-year-old daughter, and they're both doing well. They're both alive.
That's good.
The moral of that story is that if you find a big enough why, the how will naturally fall into place.
Yeah.
And so
the motivation is there. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? I guess it's also the mother of making things happen.
I think what people have a hard that person that you're describing, that's a really great example, and they were in an emergency situation, so obviously the motivation. I think that people don't realize the health issues we are creating by being sedentary and not having good healthful eating habits. We don't see the emergency because it's so far down the road.
Exactly.
That heart attack or what have you is so far into the future that people say, oh, that's not going to happen to me. I think the challenge for you, I imagine, is to connect them with that, to say it might be 5 or 10 years in your future, but you're forming it now.
Right. Let's be a little bit more present and focused on the now.
That's a big challenge for you to conquer with your clients.
I'm
I
a
would
little
imagine.
nervous now.
Yeah. Sorry to put all that on you.
That's okay. I'm feeling a little insecure. But that's fine. I have my own therapist.
We're confident you can do it.
Well, thank you so much.
So if you would like to contact Julian and ask him for that same motivation, you can get in touch with him at J Varela, Varela at compass-health.com.
That's right.
Yeah. Send him an email. We have a link at eatdrinkexplore.com under today's program summary. That is how you can get in touch with him. Julian, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone have a very healthful day today.
Yes.
Right? Have a healthful
And find your motivation to get moving.
Find your motivation. We don't have any play out music because I disabled that the last time around.
Can we sing?
That's right. We could. Let's
sing.
ready for a round of Kumbaya, everyone. No. I tease. You've been listening to Sunday Fun Day here on the Eat Drink Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, and we look forward to having you back here next week. The Eat Drink Explore Media radio show you are currently enjoying is in a local affiliate commercial break. Live programming will return shortly.